Hi everyone, I'm Lloyd from the Real Estate Helpers.
And I'm Nick. Glad you could join us both.
In this video, we will show you how to negotiate effectively with buyers. First, we'll identify buying signals. The more interested a buyer, the harder you can push for a higher price.
We are also going to give you specific tactics and scripts that you can use to help get the buyer's highest price.
So first up, let's talk about buying signals. What are buying signals? Well, basically, they're just clues. And if you look out for these clues, you'll get a good idea of the buyer's level of interest. The most obvious buying signals are questions. Just think of inspections like a date. Lots of questions usually means lots of interest. If the date is going badly, you probably won't hear many questions at all. And just like a date, the duration of inspection is also a good gauge of how well things are going. If it's all over in a flash, guess what? They're probably just not that into you.
One of the most misunderstood buying signals is something I like to call barking. Just think about a dog. When it finds something that's interested in, it just barks away. So when buyers bark or say negative things about a property, what this actually shows is their curiosity. When folks say, oh, we'd have to paint this room a different colour, or I don't like that particular thing, what they're demonstrating is an interest in everything else about the property. If they hated everything, they would just stay quiet and they'd talk about it at the front of the house after the inspection. Something along the lines of, gee, did you see the awful wallpaper they had in there? Some folks use this strategy of talking the property down to try and appear disinterested so that they can later justify offering you a lower price. Do not be fooled. These people are probably really interested.
Another really good sign of interest is projection. This is where buyers imagine themselves having already bought the home. A good example of this is where a couple discuss where they'll place the furniture in the house. If they're going to that sort of trouble, it stands to reason they're interested. You can encourage people to project by asking them leading questions, like, could you see yourself living here? Or if they bring the kids, talk to them and ask them, which one's your room, little fella?
That's a bit cheeky, Lloyd. A subtle signal you can also watch for is the general body language of the buyers as they inspect the property. Everyone's a little bit different, but here are some key things to watch for. First of all, leaning in. This is where the buyer starts to closely examine fine details, like fixtures in the kitchen, or the painting, or the brickwork. If they don't like the property, they won't look at it in detail. Another piece of body language to watch for is touching. People generally only want to touch things that they like. Finally, keep track of where the buyer goes throughout the house. If they are revisiting certain rooms, it's likely something there has caught their eye.
Okay, so once you have an idea of the buyer's level of interest, just ask them, would you feel comfortable living here? If they're keen, they'll generally just say, hey, we'd like to make an offer. And if you're using our help sell service, you won't have to worry about the negotiations at all because we take care of everything for you. Most negotiations will occur fairly naturally. And if you're selling on your own, most buyers will tend to be pretty courteous because you've met them face to face. But if you have any trouble at all, here are some scripts to help you out. Just remember, the more confidently you present these scripts, the stronger their effect.
Lloyd's right. Confidence is king. Now, a key element of good negotiation is to stress to the buyers that they are in competition with other buyers. This lets you push for the highest offer from everyone. Here is a great script to ask for a buyer's best offer. I want to be fair to all interested parties, so I am going to keep all offers confidential. I also don't want to play games with people. I am going to give everyone one chance to put their best foot forward, and I will sell to the highest bidder. What is the highest price that you are prepared to pay?
Whenever a buyer makes an offer, use this really simple but really effective technique. Flinch. This is where you give them a negative physical reaction as if to express your disappointment. You'll be surprised at how well this works because sometimes the buyer will immediately raise their offer. Plus, if you have questioned well on the phone, you should have a good idea of how much the buyer has to spend. Now here's a really good script that you can use to push for the buyer's highest price. When I first spoke to you on the phone, Mr. Buyer, you told me that you could spend up to X amount for the right home. Now if my home's right for you, you should be okay paying that amount, shouldn't you?
If a buyer is resisting on paying their best price, here are another few good riffs that you can use to try and persuade them.
Isn't it better to pay a little bit more and secure the home you love, rather than hunt for a bargain and regret that you missed out?
If it really is the right home, whatever you buy it for today is going to seem cheap in 20 years.
I'm not setting the selling price. The other buyers are. The property will sell to the person who offers me the highest price with the best terms. It's as simple as that.
Well done, everyone. You have made it all the way to the end of our video series.
I hope these videos have equipped you with everything you need to sell your own home. I'm Lloyd Genman. If you need anything at all, please send me an email, lloyd@helpsell.com.au.
And don't forget me too, I'm Nick. You can email me anytime to Nick, that's NIC, @helpsell.com.au. You can also call either of us anytime on 1300-HELPER. That's 1300 435737. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.